Hi guys, it's Colton Lindsay here with Winning the Inner Game and another winning series interviews. I'm super stoked about today. Before we hop into it, I want you guys to go check out fearlessagent.com. It's the sales system that I built my business off of. Allows me to work 4 days a week, earning about 400 grand a year. Also, if you guys are not using Mojo Sells, the dialing solution, you guys definitely need to check that out immediately. I want to welcome you here onto our show, Christian Stone. Give us a little bit of 60 seconds. You're in the business less than 2 years, right?
Yeah, I'm actually in it 18 months.
And in California, Temecula, California. So
Temecula. Yeah.
give me in 60 to 90 seconds, give us the synopsis of how you got into real estate business and how you got to where you're at today.
Oh wow, 60 seconds. All right. So I actually rented a house or a condo off of an agent, and he's now my partner. When I was living there, he said, "Hey, you guys can afford to buy a house," and this was in like 2012, and me and my wife were like, "No way." We bought our first house, and it was at like the very bottom of the market. So we lived there for about 2 years, almost 2 years, and the housing market like doubled in my house. So I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna sell my house and make a profit." I called the same agent that sold me the house, and he's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, we can put it on the market." Came over, took pictures, and we put it on the market. It was so simple of buying a house and then putting the house on the market. He made it just simple, like flawless.
Yeah.
And I had asked him, I was like, "Hey, do I have to go into your office, like meet your boss?" He's like, "No, we're independent contractors. I'm my boss basically." At that time, I was working at the hospital, and I had like 10 bosses, and I hated my job. So I was kind of I saw the amount of money he made when he was selling my house. Well, he was gonna make for like the listing agreement and everything. He gave me my proceeds, and I saw what he was making, and it just got me thinking like, wow, I could be my own boss, and I can make that kind of money off selling just one house. So the way my brain works is I'm a numbers guy, and I saw what he was making off of my house. We sold it for like only 175, and to me that was like almost 2 months of what I was making at the hospital. So in my
Yeah.
brain, I'm like, oh, I only have to sell one house a month, and I can survive. That would be easy.
Yeah.
So I
So
kind of just jumped in.
so now you're in the business. What were you doing? What was your medical field? You worked at a hospital, or what were you doing in that industry?
Well, I went to EMT school. I didn't really do the EMT thing, but I jumped into the hospital game, and it's called a CST, Central Service Technician. So we just got like surgery rooms ready, cleaned all the surgery tools, basically gave supplies out to the whole hospital.
Okay, cool, man. And so you're making half of what he made on one transaction, right, per
Yeah.
month. And so when did you get licensed? What year? What was the date?
February 2014.
So 18 months now. So tell us
Yep.
about your first day in real estate. What did that look like?
Oh man, my first day. What I did was obviously I had a mortgage, I had bills, so I didn't quit my job right away, and I just started going to the office and sitting at the front desk, because my brokerage I was with then did like front calls. People would call into the office, and you just sit there. So
Yeah,
I
that's called floor time. That's called going out of business time, right?
Yep. Floor time. And I swear I sat there for at least 2 weeks. And then my first deal kind of fell into my lap. It was a friend at the hospital. He said, "Hey, I want to sell my house." So I jumped on it, and I was so excited to sell his house. And we ended up selling it, and I got paid. This was at least a month into my real estate career. And I was like, "Oh, wow, that was cool." But it's still not enough to quit my job.
Yeah. So how old are you?
I'm 25.
25 years old. So now let's fast forward from the first day, the first month, your 6 months. What did the first 6 months of your business look like?
Well, my who was my agent at the time, and then he's my mentor and partner now. He said, "Hey, you got to go to this guy, Mike Ferry." So I went to a Mike Ferry event, and I got my whole entire mind just shifted onto prospecting. So I got back from the Mike Ferry event and just hit prospecting hard.
So prospecting was the answer to
Oh
the
man.
to the question there.
Yep. My first
So
like Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so let's say, how far into the business were you when you attended that event?
2 months.
2 months into it. So immediately coming back from it, how did your schedule change? And what did you start to do to just tackle prospecting?
Be in the office at 6:30 and literally dialing till 2 or 3 every single day.
Okay, so
Expired for sale by owners.
you're at the office at 6:30. What time is your first outgoing phone call?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. So what do you do between then, 6:30 and 7?
So between like 6:30 to 7:30, we would role play just between my partner and I, because I was a new agent. I didn't know what to say to anybody, so I stuck to scripts. So I learned all of the scripts like the back of my hand.
Awesome. Okay, so you really just committed to learning scripts, right? And because obviously the scripts you had, your own language, wasn't cutting it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to sell your house? It just wasn't working.
You know what's funny? That's actually my favorite scripts, just a little bit different than that I use all the time. Are you thinking of selling your house? And you'd be surprised on how many times. It takes like 50 contacts, but it works, man. So anyways, now how many 18 months into the business, how many closed transactions?
I'm at 69.
69. Awesome.
Total.
Okay. So your first 12 months, what did that look like? How many transactions?
First 12 months we finished, I got it written down, 29 closed transactions.
29 closed transactions. Okay. And then, what does that leave you? So these next year, you've done probably about, was that 40 transactions? I'm trying to do the math.
I'm on 40 so far.
Awesome, man. So what does your day look like now? Has it changed? Is it still the same?
Oh no, it's way different now. Now I have a set schedule that I try and stick to every single day. I mean, one of my hardest things right now is actually sticking to schedule.
Huh?
So, but I do have a set schedule I get up at 6 a.m. and then from about 6 to 6:30, I feed my dogs, make coffee, kind of just wake up. 6:30 to 7, I read my Bible and kind of just pray. It's my alone time myself. And then 7 to 8 is just get motivated time. Right now, I have a team now, so I text my team all kinds of quotes every morning. I look up things that I want to do in life, things that I want to accomplish, things I want, and I get motivated till 8 o'clock.
So what's your let's continue forward. We'll ask you about the team structure in a minute. So 8 o'clock, what time do you call until?
So 8 to 8:30, I call expired, as many as I can get in between that time. 8:30 to 9, I hop on a conference call with my team and we all role play from 8:30 to 9 every Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And then 9 to 11 is solid prospecting. Expired, for sale by owners, sphere of influence, just sold, just listed.
And what time do you finish up with that?
11. I used to prospect 4 hours. This year, I cut it down to just 2 hours.
Why'd the change?
I got a lot of business going. So what I kind of just, my family life was going down, my fitness was going down, so I had to change something. I had to get into the gym, and I'm not that guy that's gonna get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym. It's just not me. So I put gym in.
So and that's one of the major struggles with real estate and the success as it comes. You almost get so focused on that next deal, that next transaction, it becomes kind of like an addiction.
Yep.
And so at what point in your career did you recognize, wait a second, I gotta stop getting my next hit off of prospecting?
It was, I would say, actually April of this year. So this new schedule just became implemented between April and May. Just because I was having, issues with my family life, never seen my wife. Because when I was with her, I was on the phone, answering my phone, texting, checking emails, things like that, and never going to the gym, not eating healthy, not doing my daily routine anymore. I was just prospecting like a madman.
Yeah, and you can make a lot of money doing it, but it kind of, if you let go on the other areas, it hurts. So 11 o'clock, what happens at 11 o'clock? What do you do then?
11 o'clock, I kind of end my prospecting, and from 11 to 1, I go to the gym and just come home, eat lunch.
Okay, so you'll go to the gym and then eat lunch, and I take it your office is pretty close to where you live then.
Yeah. So I actually work from a home office now.
Oh, awesome.
So my gym's actually right down the street. My new house has a little casita, so it's almost like its own office.
Okay, so you work out in the casita. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool,
and then
man.
1 to 2 is my administration time. So I follow up on my leads. I follow up with my partner, things that are going on. We chat and we kind of just go over the contracts, things like that.
Okay. So then after 2 o'clock, what's the rest of the day look like?
2 to 2:30 is preparation for any appointments I have. So I'll print out my listing contracts, my CMAs, and then I'll if I don't have any listing appointments, I make a flyer. And then from 2:30 to 5, I door knock or listing appointments.
Okay. So you save the afternoon either for appointments to go present, or you're going to go knocking doors. You're getting out of the office. You're going to go get out in the community. I
Yeah,
like
get
it.
a breath of fresh air. Sometimes I switch it up. I'll go from 9 to 11, I'll go door knocking, and then from 2:30 to 5, I'll be on the phones. Just kind of
Okay.
how I feel that day.
So how many hours per week are you averaging prospecting?
Um, I would say 10 because
10
I
hours?
prospect 5 days a week, 2 hours a day.
Awesome. Are you doing a Mark McFerry one-on-one coach, or do you have a coach, or are you just role playing and learning or
Um,
masterminding?
I mean, it'd be nice to have a coach, but I kind of have a mentor now. He's also my partner. He does all my basically TC work for me, but he mentors me. He keeps me on track. But no, I don't have a full-time Mike Ferry coach.
Awesome. So what does your team structure look like now?
I have my partner, full-time partner, and then we just brought on. Actually, the team's actually new as of February of this year. Just because we were getting so busy, we were just like, hey, we gotta need help.
Yeah.
So we brought on one other agent, two other agents now, actually. So they're not really classified as a buyer's agent or listing agent. They're actually both new agents. So my whole goal is whoever I bring onto my team, I want to train them how I was trained. So
Okay.
I like the new agent mentality, because they're not really, they don't know anything yet.
They're
So
not
I can
tainted,
teach them
right?
what to do.
So
Yeah,
really, you're just ingraining, hey, prospect, get on the freaking phones and
correct.
just do it, go knock the door. And that's what my background is. I built my business off of prospecting, cold calls, FISBOs, expireds, my SOI. I still prospect every day.
Nice.
And but now I'm calling SOI in my people farm for the most part. I call a few expireds and FISBOs, but you get to the point where you don't have to do those anymore. You can still do them if you want, but that's the one thing I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I kind of dislike about the Mike Ferry program is you go to his event and he's like 35% of your business should be referrals and SOI and like 65% should be new business. I think that's ridiculous. And what do you think
Yeah.
about that?
I mean, honestly, my partner and I were just talking about this last week. Most of my business this year has been calling sphere of influence and people I know. Which last year I didn't have any past clients, so I couldn't call anybody. So it was just prospect, prospect, prospect like crazy, like prospecting dungeon basically. you know. So this year I've been calling all my past clients and their friends, and then my family, and I've been getting a lot more business from them. At least this year, it's probably 75% sphere of influence and past clients.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm about 65% referral based business and then about 25% just from my people farm that I market to. And so you add that up, all of a sudden now you're 90% of your business you don't have to work your ass off for. I
Yep,
mean, once you get to
exactly.
that point. So I want to talk, you usually knocking doors or on appointments till 5:30. Does that mean you're home by 5:30 or what happens after 5:30?
I guess it really just depends on the area where I'm knocking doors at. Typically, I try and stay local. So yeah, I'm typically home by 5:30. What I really want to work on is I want to be just a listing agent. Like I think most agents just want to be a listing agent. So I still take buyers out from like 5:30 to even 7 o'clock, showing homes whenever I can fit buyers in.
That's awesome, man.
I
So
want to change it.
have you considered having one of these newer agents you brought on be like a showing agent for you?
I do. So we have a system set up. Obviously, right now I have about 17 active listings. So obviously I'm getting a ton of sign calls like crazy.
Yeah.
So when we don't have time or when we can't service people properly, we have a system where I give them to my agents.
Okay. Cool. So what is the gist? Tell us about the team structure and each person's role and position and how it all works.
Mhm. So I have them doing exactly what I was doing my first year. I sent them my schedule when they first came on. I said, hey, obviously you have to alter it to your own life, but minimum you should be prospecting 4 hours a day and just prospect, 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 basically. but I don't have a designation as far as listing agent or buyer's agent. We haven't really figured that part out yet. So they have a split with me, and it's basically for training and for handling their transactions.
Awesome, man. And so how does the transaction get handled? Is that with your partner as far as the transaction coordination, or?
So what we do, I don't think a lot of teams are doing this. We actually handle everything for you. If you get a buyer or a seller, you just text my partner. He's what we call him as a closing agent. So you text him the address, and he'll send you a full CMA, full listing contract, everything, so that you can just print it out and go straight to the listing. Same with a buyer. You go out, you show a buyer a house, and they're like, hey, we want to make a property on, or an offer on 123 Easy Street. You just text my partner Norm, and he sends you the offer right away. Because my whole goal with the team is I want to eliminate every distraction as possible and have them just get in front of buyers and sellers.
Just working on contracts, get contracts signed, right?
Everything else we want to take off. So with my team, when they get something into escrow, we pay for the whole TC, so they don't have to worry about any TC issues. They do the face-to-face with their buyer and sellers. Everything else on the background we take care of.
Awesome, man. So let's talk about, as you wrap up the year, where are you looking to hit number-wise for 2015 closings and gross revenue?
Our goal for this year is 52, and I think
52.
we're definitely going to hit that, because we have 17 listings right now, and we have, where is it? I wrote it down for you. Now I can't find it. We have, it's over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 houses in escrow now, and then obviously pipeline. We have a lot going there.
Awesome, man. So what will that put you for total revenue for the year?
Total revenue will be 52 deals will be 10 million.
Okay, so be at 10 million in volume.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that work? Is that 52 deals with the team? Is that 52 deals with you? 52 deals with you and Norm? How does that look?
Yeah, so that's 52 deals with me. The team
Okay.
is kind of new. They're both new agents. One of my agents actually just got her first closed sale, and she just got her first listing. The other agent has 2 listings and 1 closed sale so far.
Awesome. Cool, man. So looking into 2016, what are your goals this next year?
2016, I want to do 100 sales total.
100 sales. And do you care if they're buyers or sellers or mainly sellers?
Myself, I want to be at the very least 80% sellers.
Okay. So are those 100 transactions for you only, or is that for the team as well?
That's for me and my partner, Norm.
Okay, awesome. And then what about, do you set goals with the team, or what do you do with them?
I was watching one of your videos actually, and it's talking about the 2016 like goal planning and settings and everything. So we have a meeting next Thursday to talk about that and set a team goal, and then see kind of where they want to be at individually.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's very powerful, is to know what the fruit is that you want, and then boil it down to what's the root that's going to cause that. That's prospecting, right? That's how many people you're talking to and how well are you doing at it, right? So let's talk about this. So 100 transactions for you and your partner. What does that put you volume?
If we do 100 transactions, we'll probably be at about 25 million.
25 million. That's a pretty big jump in business for sure.
Oh yeah.
How many days a week are you working?
Monday through Friday.
And you're working full days Friday? You're working full days every day?
Well, what I do is Wednesdays, I kind of try and, after prospecting, it's my wife's day off, so I kind of try and take Wednesdays off.
Okay.
So Friday I do work.
Okay, cool. What, and Saturdays and Sundays you just don't do anything? I mean, work-wise?
I keep it slow. Saturdays and Sundays are slow. That's one thing I'm going to work on for next year, is just not working at all Saturdays and Sundays, but I take a lot of buyers out to see homes on the weekends.
Yeah. That's I really think if you studied that, the showing agent model, like I haven't shown a house, maybe one house in the last 2 years personally, right? And I still do 30% of my business still buy it. But you can begin to leverage yourself. And, I at least hit a point in my business where it's like, okay, I could go get the other deal. I could go make more money. I could go do more, right? Yep. And then, I've got a 5-month-old baby now. I've got a 3.5-year-old girl. I've got my wife. And I was a lot like you. I was working all the friggin' time.
Yep.
And you have to be, and it's funny, I was talking to an agent about this yesterday. You have to be willing to give up and let go of deals and money. And it's weird, like magically you'll like make more freaking money. It's the weirdest thing. It's crazy, man. Because life isn't about just working all the time. It's about freaking living. You know what I mean?
True. Very true. If you make all this money, but you can't enjoy it, what's the point of making the money?
I want to ask you, because I've been personally going through some health transformation myself, getting really focused on that. Tell me what caused you to get really focused on that, going to the gym and your nutrition?
Seeing myself gain weight. I mean, obviously, my wife's tiny and she's small and she eats really healthy and she's always working out. And then you see me just working a lot and actually gaining weight and being more tired and not have as much energy as I used to have. I ride motocross a lot and as soon as I hop on my dirt bike, I get super tired within like an hour. So that's obviously telling me something.
Yeah.
Something's not right.
Yeah. No, it boils down to an energy thing. And, I think if you can have more energy, imagine if you could sleep 5 hours a night easily and have like a ton of energy, you're going to have an extra 40 hours a month, right? And it's like, what can you do for an extra 40 hours? Doesn't mean you need to work, but maybe there's other projects you want to do or other things you want to do in your life. You're dead when you're sleeping. You know what I mean? You're dead when you're just zombieing out, man. That's cool, man. So tell us about the mental side of where you've been in the last, because you're 18 months into the business. The first 2 months, it sounds like you're kind of like just going through the motions. You've obviously experienced defeat or failure along the way, or you wouldn't still be in the business. Yep. How do you cope with that? How do you deal with the mental side of it?
Well, see, my whole first year, I was having trouble with the fear of rejection. So I was getting freaked out. Every time someone would slam the door in my face, I'd just be like, oh man, I'm not gonna get something. Then if you prospect for 4 hours and you don't get that lead, I'd be so bummed out. I'd be bummed out the next morning, and I'd be thinking like, oh well, here we go, gonna call again and not get any leads. And what does that do to you? That's what's gonna happen. So I started reading. What was it called? I actually have it back here. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh yeah, little Stephen Covey.
Yeah, I read that book and I'm just like, oh wow, that's super cool. Like you can basically train yourself just by telling yourself things. So I made a vision board. I wrote down everything that basically I want in life and what I want out of life and what for my family. And it kind of just I look at those things every day and to keep myself motivated.
That's awesome, man. So what type of people do you surround yourself with, or what type of books are you reading to keep yourself at that high motivation?
Lately I've been surrounding myself with real estate agents. There's a lot of young agents around me. California's got all the young guys, I guess. But I kind of try and I build friends, my group or circle around like-minded individuals.
Awesome.
People who are doing the same thing as me.
So do you have a mastermind group?
I don't. I have my team.
Well, that's going to be pretty similar to one as well. One thing I would encourage you, and this is one thing I've always done the last several years of my business, is get some other agents, not even locally in your marketplace. Mm-hmm. You can just mastermind with. You can just talk about the core aspects of the business and take it to a new level. That's been huge for me with my partners, Brian and AJ. We've just learned so much from each other.
Oh yeah.
So what is the one thing that you would say to a brand new agent getting into this business? What advice would you have for them?
A brand new agent, I would tell you to go get a credit card right away and buy yourself a dialer. Typically, I guess new agents, they don't really have a lot of money to spend, so put on a credit card, do whatever you have to do. Buy a dialer and buy a Cole Realty Source and just start calling like crazy.
What dialer do you use?
Arch Agent.
Oh, a little Mike Ferry. Yeah. Isn't that the single dialer? Little.
Yep. It's just one line dialer. I'm actually new to a dialer as of this year. All of last year, I just hand dialed on my phone. And
is there a contract with Arch, or how does that work?
Nope. It's just month to month.
Dude, you want to take your life to a whole nother level?
Yeah, what's that?
You go
Of
get
course.
Mojo immediately. It will like
Yeah,
change your world, man.
really?
Yeah, it's like a night and day difference from any other dialer that I've seen out there. I've seen a few different dialers, and
Okay,
Mojo rocks it, man. They're just about ready to launch 2.0, which
nice.
is you have your it can be a whole CRM system. And I imagine the other dialers can be, but like this is insane. They just launched the beta test for being able to text message from it. I mean,
Oh,
you can
wow.
click emails from the click of a button. I mean, you can have them go straight to MailChimp. It's pretty freaking sick what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
I've heard
worth
a
it.
lot of good stuff about Mojo.
Yeah, you need to call them up and tell them I sent you and
All
freaking get
right.
started. So the dialer, talk about that. I mean, just the fact you're calling more people and you recommend that to new agents, what has it done for you?
It allows you to contact more people. So when I was just hand dialing, I'd go into the office, I'd pull up my list from Cole Realty Source, and then I'd just do expireds for sale by owners and like just solds from people in my office. And it would take me forever, okay, hang up, dial another number, call it, hang up, dial another number. It's just so time consuming. So you buy a dialer and you can actually contact way more people than just hand dialing it. So it's obviously a numbers game. I have to call at least 300 people to get one lead is what I have it about broken down
Is
to.
that dials? Is that 300 dials or contacts? I would think
300
dials, right?
dials, at least 45 contacts
And are
to
these
get one
like
lead.
just listed, just sold type contacts, or
Hmm.
what? Okay,
Yeah.
so pretty much a cold call is what you're
Yep.
saying then.
Cold call.
How out of let's say 100 dials, how many people are you seeing answer the phone?
Um, say about 8 to 10 out of
So
100.
so about an 8 to 10% answer rate then. So
Mhm.
that's pretty common. I know Garrett that works on my team. He actually hit yesterday 100 contacts. I don't know if you saw that
Oh
post in
man,
the
I
Young
did.
Hustlers
I
group.
saw that. I saw that. 100 contacts, like 11%, like 1,000 calls or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But he set appointments. He set one appointment from that. The other day,
That's
he
awesome.
actually had from cold calls. He had done that challenge himself. He set about a $2.5 million 32 plex resident. I guess it was like an apartment building. And
Wow.
anyway, she didn't end up wanting to sell because of the numbers or whatever. But still, I mean, you can set appointments just from straight cold calling if you just stay committed to it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all a numbers game. I have a little thing written down that actually I've had it since I started in real estate. It's what kept me motivated because I'm a numbers guy. So I do a script board. You could probably actually see it a little bit, but I do a whole script board when I call.
Oh, nice.
So
What
it's
do you?
just
What is that? Here, shine it back over there again. What is that set up on? Is it like a?
it's just one of those trifold things, like for when you the science fairs or whatever.
Mm,
You just pick one up for like $5 at Staples, and I just taped all my main scripts on it.
awesome. So do you just use Mike Ferry scripts? Do you create your own scripts? What do you do for the language?
Some of them I create my own, and mostly just stick to the Mike Ferry stuff.
So it goes to show that any script almost will work if you just stay consistent. And it's
Yep.
just the better you get, the more feel. How would you say? Let's look at the Mike Ferry script and break it down. When you go through that, how often do you ask every question word for word? Do you ever feel like you gotta tell us about that?
Oh man, no way. I mean, if I get through my whole script, I'm stoked. Typically, it's about half the script. Like maybe 3 or 4 questions, and then I either start fading into, what they're saying and relate it to myself, or they're hanging up.
And what's your one goal when you're having a conversation? What's the whole goal?
To either meet somebody and have a new contact, so a phone number or an email, or obviously set an appointment. Meeting somebody, getting their phone number or their email to follow up with them later is to me just as good as getting an appointment. You just add them to the
So are you getting
database.
their mailing address as well, or do you already have their
Uh,
mailing?
yeah, yeah. So the way the system works is it pops up as their mailing address, their full name, and what they bought the house for.
So let's talk about that. You get a contact, someone they're not really looking to do anything now. What are you doing to follow up with them or stay in touch with them long term?
Old school. I write it all down in a book. I mean, that's a goal for next year too, is to get a nice CRM. So right now I'm just writing it down in basically like a leads book. It's kind of funny actually. I have a paper for like hot leads where I just
Okay.
write it down. I put leads at the top, and kind of put it in there for people who are further off. I just have a book. I just write their name in and check it out every week or so.
Awesome. So it just goes to show that even old school, you can still make it work. And that's can you with Arch? Can you set callbacks and stuff like that, or?
You can, but their system's kind of, to me, it's not very simple, and it's kind of a headache. So I don't really use that part of their system. I just
Oh
use
man, dude, that's another reason you get it on Mojo, because it becomes that complete CRM. You've got your contact card pulled up. You can set an exact follow-up date that you want to call them. You have your whole notes right there. It has everything.
Nice.
Dude, it's freaking insane.
Nice.
Simplifies a prospector's life, hands down.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and kind of think about numbers wise, right? Like, what are your income goals to be in this business, and how has your income changed from when you're working at the hospital?
Oh man, it's tripled. But as far as numbers go, I'm a huge numbers guy. So what I have written down on my board up here is 1 lead a day is all I want to get. Okay. So that would make 5 leads a week. Okay. If out of those 5 leads, you get 2 appointments. So 2 listing appointments a week, basically. And if one of those people decides to list, then you're gonna get 4 listings a month. So our average list price where I'm at, where I do most of my business, is $150,000.
Okay.
So that's $4,500 commission. And if out of those 4 listings you got a month, 2 actually decide to sell, then that's $9,000 a month. And then times 12, you're gonna make $108,000 a year just from 1 lead a day. And that's only if you get 50% of the leads.
So here would be a question I want to ask you, Christian. Then with even this, let's say you didn't go and hit 100 deals next year, right? Obviously you want to go to 100 because you make more money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let's say you did the same 52 deals next year. Mm-hmm. How could you increase your income and your revenue just based on the same number of transactions?
I grew up, I was born and raised in Hemet, California, and that's where still most of my business is at. And that's where they have $150,000 average sales price. So I wanted to jump into a higher market. So January of this year, my wife and I picked up and moved to Temecula. And this is the market I want to jump in, because their average list price is $395, their average sales price.
So that's one way. So one way is to increase your sales price, right?
Correct.
And how is that, since you've made that move and that focus, how's that working for you?
It's actually working pretty good. So it's moving slow. This is a more competitive market. I'm only a half an hour away from Hemet. So our agents in Hemet, I believe, were like, last time I looked was 689 agents. And then in Temecula, it's like 5,000.
Oh yeah.
So it's way different as far as numbers.
So do you still get referrals on those like $150,000 transactions?
Yep.
So here's the question.
My business is now.
So looking at that, taking that same $150,000 transaction, how could you increase the revenue on that transaction?
I don't know.
It's a trick question, right?
I mean, I guess if I charge more commission, something like that, as far as same sales price.
Think about that. Think about if you start charging 7% instead of 6%, you increase by 33% what you were getting paid before, right?
Yeah.
So do that's an extra $1,500 a transaction. It takes you from 4,500 to 6,000. You do 1,500 times 52. What's that number? Let's take a look at that.
Doubles.
That's only an extra $78,000.
Only 78,000. Yeah.
So I would challenge you to do that, man. I would challenge you to go in with a 7% on your contract versus a 6% and just see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
Obviously you've kind of proven yourself as one of the best in that local marketplace in a pretty quick time frame. So
I mean, a lot of agents in Temecula, they're all listing houses at 5%. So that's kind of what I struggle with, because in Hemet, every single one of my listings are at 6%. Typically if they're not 6%, I either walk away or I basically fight them on it until I get 6%. Objection after objection after objection. So I'm sure, honestly, in Hemet, I could probably get 7%. I've just never thought about it.
Okay, well, you got a lot of business there. I'd like to hear in a week from now on your next appointment how that goes.
Definitely.
Cool, man. So going forward, 5 years out, what do you see a vision for you and your life and your business?
5 years out, I'd like to create a working team. I see a lot of these agents in your interviews, in other people's interviews, that have like a working team where it's like it's an engine, and you just keep filling it with gas, and it just keeps working and working and working. And that's what my whole goal is just to create an awesome team. Actually, my goal from when I started in real estate, I wrote down and I set goals that I wanted to do. And one of the things I want to do is I want to be the #1 agent for Inland Empire, for basically my MLS. I want
Oh,
to be the top agent
nice.
within 5 years.
That's
my 5-year
awesome.
goal. So,
And there's how many agents?
oh man, in our MLS, there's got to be at least 30,000 or more.
Wow. So you've got some work cut out for you then over the next 5 years.
Definitely.
So one of the things that I really have learned the last probably year and a half as I'm interviewing a lot of top agents is, and this is where I once again believe the Mike Ferry system fails a lot of agents, is it's always teaching you to get that next listing, right? Yep. You never hear him up on stage say, hey, go get that next recruit. Not one time will you ever hear him say that.
Never.
And every one of the top agents that have a team, part of their job now becomes, where's my next agent? Where's my next talent and the next recruit? So something to maybe think about over the next 12 months as you're expanding the empire. I like it, man.
It's that, I mean, honestly, to me, in my opinion, I don't know how some people would feel about this. I don't think that this solo agent, the agent working by themselves for themselves, I think that's going to be a thing of the past, because most of the top agents in my marketplace are all teams, and people get better service that way. When I list a house, people get better service than somebody listing a house by themselves.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, you think about anyone that's doing a substantial amount of business, they're going to have an assistant or two, right? Or they're going to have a couple of sales agents, and the size of how you build your team is completely up to you, and the sky's the limit if that's what you want to dedicate your time to. So that's cool, man. Well, I appreciate you being on here today. How can the viewers get a hold of you or connect with you or talk with you more?
I'm huge on social media, so they can check out either my personal Facebook is just Christian Stone, or my Instagram and my business page is Stone, my last name, STONE _ AND _ associates. So Stone and Associates.
Awesome, man. That's freaking cool, dude. I'm stoked that you're doing well right now. Continue to hit it. And I think the whole major thing that I can take away from this interview, I like interviewing guys that have been in the business 5 years, 10 years, and 2 years, because they all bring a different aspect. What I like about you is you just like, dude, just freaking prospect, go to work. And that's simple,
game, man. Honestly, yes. I have a quote here, because I was thinking what I could tell you as far as what really motivates me. It's the consistency with which you approach your daily activity that determines the consistency on which you get paid.
That's awesome, man.
Honestly, wake up every day, tell yourself, hey, I want to make some money. I want to better my life, other people's life around me. Work.
Yeah.
No prospect, there's no magic pill. You can't take something in real estate and be like, oh, I got 5 sellers, I got 5 buyers. You could buy your leads, but it's never going to get you 200 deals a year. But you can prospect and do 200 deals a year.
Yeah.
The magic pill is prospecting. There's
absolutely.
No around it,
That's cool, man. Well, I appreciate the inspiration on that and kind of painting that picture for the viewers. You're a rock star. Keep it going.
Thanks, man.
Let me know how things are going, man. And everyone that's watching this, make sure to go connect with him. I know Christian's going to do some great things in this business. You can go check out my website at winningtheinnergame.com. Make sure to subscribe to my email list. And if you have not already registered for the upcoming For Sale by Owner training I'm doing on November 16th, you definitely should do that. I'm doing a training for Fearless Agent. That's where I learned everything coming from up in my business. And also, I'm going to shout out back to Christian. You must go get Mojo immediately. So you can get $100.
I'm going to go check it out right now, right when we get off.
You just go get on, call them and say, hey, Colton said I need to get set up. What do I got to do? And how do I cancel Arch and just move on with your life? That's exactly right. And Mojo will work with Cole Realty Resources. You can upload all those leads, and they're just the same. It's just the Arch times like 100. Like Arch is like where the losers play, and Mojo is where the winners play.
All right, I'll check it out for sure.
Okay, man. Hey, thanks guys for watching. We'll talk to you later, Christian.
All right, Colton. Later.